Thank you very much, Mariama, and welcome everyone to this webinar about the power of Zimbra on the Sahara platform. We'll also be introducing Zimbra 9 in this webinar. But before we do that, I would like to give the word, because at Zimbra our partners always come first. I would like to give the word to Ahmed from Sahara. Hello, Ahmed. Can you hear us?
Hello, my name is Ahmed Ayoub. I am the Cloud Services Business Unit Manager within SaharaNet. SaharaNet has been founded in 1989 in Saudi Arabia. SaharaNet is the first ISP and the first ICT organization in Saudi Arabia. SaharaNet is one of the largest hosting providers with a highly available data centers to serve the hosting and the cloud, whether private or public services, along with the connectivity and cybersecurity as well. So SaharaNet offering and services including the cloud connectivity and the cybersecurity. In terms of the cloud offering, we have the shared dedicated colocation, private and public cloud, SaaS, IaaS, and PaaS, as well as SaharaNet has the only private cloud Azure Stack offering in the region. For the cybersecurity, SaharaNet offers the next generation firewalls, the penetration test, the SOC, the SIEM, the WAF, the anti-DDoS, etc. And last and not least, Zimbra is one of our best solutions we are offering here so far due to the demand of the email services to be hosted locally in Saudi Arabia, which is really comply with the government's information technology regulations and compliance. Thank you so much.
So let's talk a little bit about Zimbra 9. So with Zimbra 9, we are really happy to be able to introduce this new version because we have a new modern UI that is responsive and delivers the same experience on mobile devices, tablets, as well as desktops. So basically anytime, anywhere, and on any device, users will have a consistent Zimbra interface. And unlike competitors with closed platforms, Zimbra 9 is designed to be extensible. So small businesses, enterprises, governments, as well as service providers can integrate with third-party collaboration services they already use today. Through the new Zimbra framework, which allows customization for users who need to meet geographic or industry-specific requirements, this is possible. And Zimlets are now even easier to build and to deploy. Zimbra 9 is built with Zimbra's dependable server infrastructure, providing the security, privacy, as well as data sovereignty Zimbra customers have come to expect. And this also makes the upgrade to Zimbra 9 very easy without any migration whatsoever. So current Zimbra users will be able to gain access to the new experience with an easy self-upgrade, but also our professional services team will be able to support you if you run into any issues. And to ease the transition and adoption of Zimbra 9, your users will also have the option to toggle to the classic Zimbra UI. And just like always, Zimbra 9 can be deployed on-premise, in public or private clouds, or as a hosted service from Zimbra service providers in your own country, such as Sahara. So I mentioned it before, via the new responsive user interface, Zimbra 9 introduces a modern responsive user interface beyond or based on industry-leading React-based technology that adapts to the screen it's used on. So users can move seamlessly between desktop, mobile, and tablet browsers while enjoying a consistent and easy-to-use email and collaboration experience. The layout changes based on the size and capabilities of the device. So for example, on a phone, users would see mail view in a single column view, where a tablet will show the same content in 2 columns, and desktops have 3 columns. But the functionalities don't diminish with a smaller screen size, except for some intentionally avoided functionalities like the email advanced composer The mobile screen supports all advanced functionalities that the web or tablet supports. Now let's talk a little bit about third-party integrations. Zimbra 9 is designed for extensibility and features best-in-class out-of-the-box integrations with Slack, Dropbox, and Zoom. There are many other integrations that are underway. And of course, Zimbra is fully committed to create a collaboration ecosystem that allows small businesses, enterprises, and other organizations to utilize services they use day to day, instead of being forced to use or pay for services they do not use. So this means for you, you can break free from the closed systems of Microsoft and Google and use the apps that you have already invested in. So the new Zimlet framework for you means really customization. So Zimbra 9's new Zimlet framework allows for customization, flexibility, ranging from high-end collaboration to simple business email. Exclusive and custom features can be delivered using the new Zimlet 9, the new Zimbra 9 Zimlet framework. So for Zimbra administrators, deployment and enablement continues to behave as it has in the past. Customers across a range of regions and market sectors can easily customize Zimbra to meet their unique geographic or industry requirements. And of course, documentation and training will be available for you. Zimbra's dependable server infrastructure means for you that Zimbra 9 runs this dependable server infrastructure, providing the security, privacy, and data sovereignty Zimbra customers have come to expect, and in many cases require. As mentioned before, it's an easy upgrade. There's no migration needed, and users can expect an easy upgrade process moving from Zimbra 8 to Zimbra 9 with no data migration needed. And as usual, Zimbra will provide the documentation, tools, and professional services to support the upgrade process. And just like always, Zimbra can be deployed on-premise, in public or private clouds, or as a hosted service from Zimbra service providers in your own country. Now I'd like to give the word to Barry de Graaf, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with through the Zeta Alliance. He's now fully on board with Zimbra and is able to give you a good overview about the security compliance topic. Barry, can you hear us?
Loud and clear.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Matthias, for that wonderful introduction.
Very clear. Yes.
You're welcome.
Great.
Hello, everybody. I'm Barry de Graaf, General Evangelist at Synacor, and I will be giving a brief summary of the Zimbra 9 security compliance. The first topic is security scans. Regular security scans on the Zimbra code base are being done, and some of these scans happen automatically. We also run yearly vulnerability and penetration testing on our deployments. So it has been tested both static and dynamic. Also, Synacor has obtained SOC Type 2 compliance. For everybody who does not know that, SOC Type 2 is an auditing procedure that ensures we securely manage any of your data and privacy. Should we have that? In particular, Synacor has SOC Type 2 certification for the Portal and IDM products. We don't have it for Zimbra yet, but we don't anticipate any issues since most of our processes overlap. Synacor is experienced in providing solutions that are FIPS compliance. FIPS compliance basically covers topics like encryption at risk and in transit. This basically means that your data is always secured in a secure manner. Access controls. It's good to know that Zimbra has two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. So that's to keep your accounts on your Zimbra server secure. Cybersecurity for our hosted services, we have firewalls, of course, VPN protections, antivirus, DDoS, phishing, spam combating, whitelisting, and blacklisting in our portfolio in terms of things that are, well, Synacor is aware of and working with to make sure everything stays secure. Then the last topic is the information security program and policies. The company has implemented information security programs based on the ISO 27002-5000, and our security practices are based after the NIST cybersecurity framework 800-53 PE. So I hope that was clear. And now I'm going to give the meeting back to Matthias.
Wonderful, Barry. Thank you so much. And the good news is Barry will come back later on and demo us the product. So we look forward to that. Thanks a lot, Barry. And I'll hear you again later.
All right.
Now let's talk a little bit more about the modern UI as well as the classic UI. So basically, this means you have a choice. So Zimbra 9 allows end users to easily toggle between the new, the modern UI, and the classic Zimbra UI. So this will also ease adoption as end users get accustomed to the new interface and minimize help desk calls. And the toggle will be available at login as well as in Zimbra preferences. And there are even more customization options. So just like previous versions of Zimbra and the classic UI, you can customize the look and feel of the modern UI for your organization's needs. You can customize logo and app icons, top navigation bar to support integration with external sites, the login page, primary, secondary, as well as tertiary colors, favicon. You can customize the title. You can customize the text of a browser Windows title or the tab bar. And you can enable or disable forgot password link for SSO-enabled customers. And you can also customize the sidebar colors, link colors, header colors, etc. And the Zimbra branding guide will also be available to provide further information. So there really are many reasons to upgrade to Zimbra 9 or renew your current Zimbra license. If you have a Zimbra subscription license or a perpetual license with a valid support contract, the upgrade to Zimbra 9 is totally free. Upgrading to Zimbra 9 provides improved protection against email security vulnerabilities. Upgrading to Zimbra 9 is also easy and simple. All new functionalities are built into the Zimbra install package. Simply run the install script and the new functionality will be ready to use immediately. And of course, Zimbra Professional Services offers an upgrade package if your IT department needs assistance with the upgrade. So in summary, Zimbra 9 really provides everything you have always loved about Zimbra. We still offer the lowest TCO in the industry. Zimbra is secure, private, and provides full data sovereignty. And Zimbra never reads or sells your email. You can scale your Zimbra deployment from 10 users to 10 million with confidence. Zimbra runs anytime, anywhere, on any device. Install on-prem, in a public or private cloud, or choose a hybrid deployment. Your options are wide open with Zimbra. Because open source is in our DNA and we continue to use open source apps, Zimbra 9 will have an open core and licensed Zimbra customers will have access to the code. So Zimbra's 9 superpower really is extensibility. That means if you love Zoom, Dropbox, or Slack, bam, Zimbra 9 already has them integrated. Have other business critical applications you're relying upon and invested in? Double bam, with Zimbra's Zimlet framework, those apps can be easily integrated with Zimbra. So I'd like to thank you very much. That was it from my side. You can see my details here, so please feel free to reach out anytime. My email and my telephone number are there on that slide. And I would like to give the word now back to Barry to do the demo now.
Great. Can you also give the power of the WebEx to me?
I can't, but I'm sure Mariama can.
All right.
Over to you, Barry.
Thank you very much. So if all goes well, you guys are seeing the logon screen for Zimbra 9?
Yes, Barry, yes.
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much for that confirmation. So I'm just going to hit the logon button here. And this is our demo server. As you can see, the UI is all freshened up. You can just scroll through your email like this. Open attachments, they all open on the screen. Of course, there we have calendars and contacts like we have always have had. There really isn't that much. And Connect, which is basically an application for chatting and with colleagues. I'm gonna see if I can start a new conversation with Andrew. Okay. Okay. There's Andrew. And additionally, we have Drive that's also available in Zimbra 9. You create new documents, upload documents. I'm gonna just do a simple example. And you have the ability to do the online editing all out of the box. So that's about it. That's the Zimbra 9. A very brief demo. Just your email, contacts, calendar, chat, and files. That's it.
Thank you, Barry, for this useful and fast demo. Some clients ask about the multi-factor authentication within Zimbra and some security add-ons. Can we highlight a little bit on this part for Zimbra?
Well, I don't have it installed at this demo server. But as far as I know, and I have to ask Andrew to be sure, but it's still only to TOTP. So you can have the Google Authenticator and also that sort of stuff. But I don't think we have an SMS feature. Is that correct, Andrew?
Yeah, that's correct. So there's a built-in two-factor authentication within Zimbra, but it relies on TOTP apps, so things like Google Authenticator and so on. No, there isn't an SMS authentication mechanism. If you wanted something like that, then that could be done via a sort of a customization. So it's not unusual. We've had customers that have kind of multi-factor authentication systems around Zimbra as well, but the built-in technology is TOTP stuff.
Perfect. And some inquiry come to us. They are looking only for Zimbra Connect, okay? Because due to the situation now. So some of the government, let's say, sector and the private sector, they have regulation on their data. So they want to use, let's say, only the Zimbra Connect. Is there any way that they can buy this as a separate SKU or separate add-on, or he has to go through the plan itself?
Yeah, you'd have to have Zimbra. So as a base, it needs a Zimbra collaboration server and email accounts associated with that because Connect is essentially an add-on. So it's reliant on the fact that you have a Zimbra platform in place. You can't deploy Zimbra Connect as a completely isolated deployment. I mean, you could deploy it as a completely isolated deployment, but you still have to create email accounts and deploy the entire stack of Zimbra for it to work.
So thank you very much to all of you. I will just check the Q&A panel. We received several questions. One of them is if we have a battle card available. The answer is yes. It can be shared after this presentation. So I will email you this battle card. So can you provide details for MFA support? Does it provide text messages for OTP or phone call for OTP?
Yeah, that was answered a couple minutes ago. The answer is not out of the box. It does TOTP. And all the other stuff, as Andrew mentioned, can be done by extensions.
Okay, thank you, Barry. We've got another question. Drive uses OnCloud or Nextcloud?
Drive user is an internal, so it's Drive is a self-contained application within Zimbra itself. So it's not using a third-party OwnCloud or Nextcloud environment. It stores the files within the Zimbra mailbox server. So it is completely self-contained in that respect. So that is Zimbra Drive. I mean, Barry can also we have done integrations with OwnCloud and Nextcloud. We've had ones in the past, and I know, Barry, I believe you've been working on one for OwnCloud and Nextcloud as well.
Yeah, it's in the works. Zimbra has support for OAuth, which is what we're going to use for that. But that's still, it's being built as we speak. It's not there yet.
Okay, thank you. So another question is Nextcloud supported for Drive?
No, as Andrew just mentioned, that's a self-contained storage solution, so it does not connect to Nextcloud.
All right, thank you. NFS shares supported for Drive?
Yeah, I mean, because basically you could have some NFS. I mean, it's using the same storage that you would store mail data in there. So, for component support, NFS storage, which is essentially blob stores, then you could connect NFS storage. You can actually separate out the drive content onto specific storage volumes as well, and they could be NFS stores as well. I mean, the thing with NFS is you still have to have sufficient IOPS available to it, to deal with the demand. Certainly, in terms of using HSM and so on, then essentially, yeah, you can use NFS as well.
All right, thank you, Andrew. And as I can see, you already replied to many questions in the Q&A. There is one coming up. So can Zimbra Drive be accessed from any device?
I mean, it can be. It's primarily through the web client. So, I mean, essentially, you could, because you've got a web client on your mobile device, you can still access it through there. But it's primarily done through the web client itself.
All right. Is there a client for Drive?
Well, I kind of answered that one in the previous question. So.
All right. So, what is the maximum number of attendees for Zimbra Connect?
So, I mean, that's really a limitation in terms of network bandwidth and also the number of, or the client side, because it uses WebRTC in terms of its communication. So it's all about peer-to-peer communication. So typically what we find is that a browser, because it's creating sessions between browsers, and what we typically find is that once you have maybe 5 or 6 attendees on a video conference call, you usually find your end clients and your browsers can't handle more than that within a single session. So, to get into much larger scale video conferencing, then that requires other kind of back-end infrastructure in terms of media servers and all this sort of thing. So just as an out-the-box solution, using WebRTC peer-to-peer, realistically, you're looking at sort of 5 or 6 attendees on a video conference. Obviously, in terms of chat, that's pretty lightweight, but I mean, certainly the video conferencing is much more demanding from the bandwidth and also the endpoint.
Thank you. Does Zimbra has backup solutions such as OneDrive or Google Drive?
So I guess Zimbra Drive is kind of our equivalent of OneDrive and Google Drive. So it's a central store for it's a file repository within your Zimbra mailbox. But we also, we talked about extensions. So Matthias was mentioning about extensions in the modern UI. So there are actually 2 extensions in there already. There's Google Drive and there's OneDrive, and I think there's also Dropbox as well. So they essentially allow you to connect your Zimbra web interface onto those Drive solutions. So you can obviously use data from those repositories.
Yeah, I don't think that was the question though. Does Zimbra has a backup solution such as OneDrive or Google Drive?
Oh, so yeah.
Yes, I think Zimbra has a very extensive backup solution. We have real-time backup and recovery, and we have, of course, retention, just as much retention as you want, basically. So you can recover deleted emails, you can recover deleted accounts, and you can restore any account to a certain point in time, just as long as you still have storage for all that backup data.
Thank you, Barry. One question is, duplication is there for Drive, or how the disk is calculated?
So I was just typing the answer to that one. So there is deduplication that goes on. So from a back end point of view, there's dedupe going on there in terms of conserving storage on the back end Zimbra server. Disk is calculated. So in terms of consumption of your quota, so a user receives a mailbox quota, say a gigabyte, and any files that are stored as part of the Drive solution, then that consumes that storage. So consumes that quota.
Is there a roadmap for Zimbra in terms of scaling features to compete the others?
Scaling features, sure. Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, obviously, there's we have roadmaps in terms of work that we're doing and things that we're bringing out, future and things that we're adding in terms of features. I don't quite understand what it means by scaling features. I mean, scalability of Zimbra is already fairly well proven. We have customers out there that are running platforms with 1 million, 2 million, 3 million mailboxes on there. So it has a proven architecture that can handle that sort of size.
Yeah, might be the question, Barry, Andrew, sorry, regarding the scaling of the features and advantages of Zimbra, like the other competitors that they have, for example, weekly or monthly update or upgrade about the services itself. Hello?
Any more questions, Mariama?
So another one is, what is the size of the space allocated for each user?
So I mean that fundamentally is defined by the administrator. So in the case of Sahara running a hosted service, they would define what their quotas are that they offer to their end users.
All right. So another one before we close today's session is, does Zimbra working as ATP, ETP?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it is. No.
Okay, so maybe let me try to unmute the person who asked that question. So, Mohamed Safar, can you please ask your question?
Hello, how are you? My question is, as Zimbra, this is the first time I attend this presentation about this application or the services. So I'm asking, as you know, for example, Microsoft Exchange Online, they have something for security, it's called ATP. Zimbra, it's working like Exchange server or ATP.
Okay, yeah, I think I know what you mean. So this is a bit like rights management of documents and that type of thing.
Yeah, this is the advanced threat protection, the APT.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the add-on for the email security.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, Zimbra doesn't have that technology as you know, part of the out-of-the-box solution. I mean, it's something that potentially you could, you know, sort of build a service around that. I mean, from what I know about rights management, it relies on, you know, a lot of infrastructure that is doing callbacks to a centralized service to essentially control all the rights management around documents that are emailed to other users inside and outside. So it's quite a complex thing to set up. As I say, I mean, Zimbra as an out-the-box solution doesn't have that same sort of feature.
Thank you.
So as we are running out of time, I think that's it for today. I can see another quick question coming in. Can Zimbra work as a relay server or smart host?
Potentially it can, because I mean it contains a postfix MTA, so potentially it can be used as a smart host. But to some extent, it's, you know, it's not necessarily designed as a smart host, you know. So a lot of that setup and configuration and administration would probably have to be done at the command line level using standard postfix commands.
All right. So I think that's it for today. Thank you very much, Ayub, Matthias, Barry, and Andrew. You can still submit your question to Matthias' email address that you can see on your screen, matthias.kunz@synacor.com, and we will be more than happy to answer all your questions. So thank you very much for your attendance, and the session was recorded, so we will be sharing it with you next week. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.